Go. You know that
Two,
thing
three.
we talked about? Okay, hold on. Yeah, it must have been internet stuttering. Hold on. Hold on. Let's do it again, okay? Let's do it again, okay? Come on. Okay. 3. No, wait, hold on. Let me count for 5. That makes more sense, right? I think so. Okay, hold on. Nobody knows what's going on. 5, 4, 3.
2, 2, 3.
With clever meme, with funny tweet, I'll never leave my office seat. Those who think they know what's right, listen on Sundays to NetHeads, all right?
You've got to throw some cold water on this situation. Start talking about nerd stuff.
You know, nerd culture is mainstream now. So when you use the word nerd derogatorily, it means you're the one that's out of the zeitgeist.
System activate.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. It's a tech podcast. But we are a ton cooler than your typical geek, giving you the info you need to achieve mega nerd status. NetHeads.
You guys rock.
And now, here's Will and Trent.
Then I reach up, I pull it down a little bit, and I say, hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of NetHeads. My name is Will.
And I'm Trent.
Thank you for taking the time to join us this fine Monday if you're listening live.
Monday, na 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 na.
You know what I love about this setup is for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, welcome here on NetHeads. We do a lot of weird things.
Yeah.
We don't well, possibly you do. But no, what I'm talking about here is for a podcast, we make things relatively overcomplicated.
Oh, way more complicated than it has to be.
Right. But the reason why is because for some reason we enjoy the live experience. I don't know why.
Dude.
And
It's our niche, so to speak, our niche.
Yeah, and in an attempt to be a multi-platform media solution.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but God, I love the sound of it.
It sounds like it's coming straight out of Palo Alto, my friend.
Exactly, buddy. We are wired gigabits upon trigabits.
Yeah. Wait, are trigabits a thing now?
I don't know, but
Probably.
I not until we get to the Tekaheka bits do I care.
We'll get there. We'll get to Hecka soon.
For some reason, we also do video. And the thing that cracks me up is that I have this HD camera. It's a webcam. I have this souped up 6-core processor PC.
Zoom.
And one thing we can't do for the life of us, no matter what, is actually get this goddamn thing to have my audio and my video sync at the same time.
Yeah, it's we don't. The science has not. Technology has not caught up to science in that avenue, I don't think.
Well, and the reason why I love it is because I've got all this stuff, and God only knows what you're running, but every single week, without a hitch, you look and sound perfect.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, buddy.
Thank you.
Just like, hey, by the way, for those of you that may have also heard me giggling like a little schoolgirl at the beginning of the episode, if you'd like to take, we
that was me. That was me just now.
To clarify, we actually accidentally last week did something that I really. It's funny when you get this long in the tooth, Trent, and I'm not talking about age.
No.
Congratulations. I don't know how the hell you have done 200 plus podcasts with me.
Yeah, dude.
Congratulations on that. I think the only other person.
Congratulations on you on being there for all of them.
Well,
I get, what, I have had the benefit to be like, meh, I'm a piece of shit. I'm not going to do it this week. Fuck you, piece of shit. No, I don't say that.
Wow, that's funny. I thought you were talking what goes on in my head. I'm kidding.
Actually, yeah, no, but that's just like I have the benefit of getting a bye once in a while. You don't.
Well, not if I want, and I got to tell you, I don't understand. I've said this before, and undoubtedly I will say it again. If anything, having my father be the kind of person that as he got older told the same stories over and over. I have seen my future.
Oh,
and that's what it is.
For sure, dude. Yeah.
So I know I'm repetitive, but you know, if I've said it once, I will say it again. I don't know what drives me to do this. But whatever it is, there are times when, like, you know, like even yesterday, we're coming in on a Monday. For
Yeah.
those that don't know, if you're listening to this after the fact, by the way, if you want to take part in the program, you can. One of them in different ways. One of them, Trent, they call it Twitter. How do they do that?
So easy. You can be just like one of our very best friends, whom I've met in person. That fracking cat who says, "Good evening, hashtag NetHeads, exclamation point."
You know who else is there? That would be Z Digital 13 on Twitter
Oh.
saying, "Grab the closest Captain America thing you
Oh.
have."
Love. Oh shit. It's across. It's just out of reach. You might be
Just
able to see it though.
Oh, I do.
Yes, you can. I think you can see it. There's a Captain America bust on the shelf right there.
See, and the thing is,
Yes, you can.
in superhero parlance, we often hear this thing about which one is the mask and which one is the hero,
Yes.
or which one's the person. And
Yeah.
you said the Captain America, and I was going to say it was the Steve Rogers bust.
Sure. Yeah.
Because in my mind, Captain America is an ideal, but Steve Rogers
Correct.
really is.
That is true. Yeah, that is a classic Captain America bust. You know, and we've seen Steve Rogers don not many, but different titles in the past, and we've seen other people don the title of Captain America who is not Steve Rogers.
Yeah, that's true. So you know,
Yeah.
but that
that's
particular is a Steve Rogers Captain
Yes.
America.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it is.
So
I
anyway,
mean, yeah.
maybe
Depends on what universe we're into. Could be, I don't know, somebody else.
Are we in the 616? What?
That's where dude, that's my universe, is the 616.
There you are, right there with you, buddy. Right there with you.
I know, dude. I know.
By the way, if you are listening live, sorry, but also you could also give us a call if you wanted via Skype. Is one of the ways you can do that, or that's NetHeads on air, or you can just call us 866-610-9455. Last but not least, Yak Bet 9020. So
9020.
You know, I gotta tell you, man, you have been so musical lately.
Dude, I love jingles.
You just have a song in your heart.
I
Trent.
just always I'm always making up songs for the dog, and my intern in my office, I like, this is gonna sound creepy, but I make up songs to her. Basically just songs using her name. Yeah, that sounds weird.
I'm just saying HR may get involved.
Yeah, I should probably stop that.
Well, it depends on the nature of the song, if it's just like, and forgive me, but I live in California, so I'm just gonna say her name is Ashley.
Yeah.
I'm also apparently genderizing.
Kelly. Yeah.
Oh wow, look at that.
Yeah.
So but I could just see it. If you're having a down moment, or you're stuck in a thought, and then you're like, Kelly's reaching for her stapler.
Yeah. No, totally. That's exactly it. Yeah.
I do that kind of thing around the kitchen and drive the whole family insane
all the time, dude. Yeah. Or sometimes my go-to jingle, or my go-to melody is Desperado.
But you throw in whatever else you want with it.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it's great, dude. And you can riff on that for a while.
You know what'd be really awesome is if her last name was something like Prado, so that way you could just be like, Kelly Prado.
Oh, I wish.
Why won't you process your inbox?
Yes.
And I don't know what rhymes.
And then you come
box.
up with something that rhymes with box. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
appropriate. That's appropriate.
Not. Oh, I see what you did there again. Set to lobby match, my friend. Well played. Well played. But yeah, I was listening the other day, because I think last couple episodes of Hollywood Babylon, one of the things that's come up, because of course apparently we're the tech podcast that talks about other podcasts on the same network. That's what we do.
Okay.
I think so. I don't see anything wrong with it. My whole point being is that the guy whose site we are benefiting from.
Oh, no, that guy.
During the the email segment or something, people will thank them to be their inspiration for starting their own podcast.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
And Kevin will ask for the name and how many they've done, and it'll be like 12. And he's like, "Did you really think you would just sit around and talk with friends for 12 times?"
Ever.
And I can't really believe that we've done this. I mean, because there was a show before this. It was pardon me. The Parlance show can grate on some people's nerves. There was a podcast before this podcast.
Yes.
We are obviously mass casting in many different ways, but primarily a podcast. Before this, there was Radio Askew, where we
Radio Askew, and
where-
that's an actual jingle.
that was beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Radio Askew.
Yeah. That was one of the intro though. The guy on the guitar, he's like Radio Askew.
Yeah, actually, that was Darren, and I always screw up. It's Millard, like Mallard, I think.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Darren Millard. I hope I got it right.
Yeah.
He was the one who did that, and boy, did I love that for the longest time. But the point being is that I think that means that I can safely say, without a doubt, regardless of appearances and non-appearances by you, Trent, I'm relatively certain you've done at least 250 podcasts
Between the two.
with me.
Good Lord.
I know, right? The only other person that's put in this kind of time with me is my wife.
Well, and I mean, she wins. Not like this isn't like a competition.
Oh, no, I'm not
You know
saying
what
it's a
I mean?
competition. Maybe both of you should have your heads checked, is all I'm thinking. But thank you for that, Trent. I always
Yeah.
appreciate it, because
Yeah.
the one thing about this, and I think this should really be said for anybody that's sitting around trying to do a podcast with somebody they know. I don't do this podcast for the sake of just doing it. My primary drive is I enjoy talking to you week after week.
Right.
Which is weird because this isn't the way we started. So,
yeah.
but it just goes to show that through circumstances, you can find friends the way you'd never expect to.
Dude, it's so true.
And speaking of which, Trent, I hope and pray that it works out to where the upcoming Salt Lake Comic-Con,
Oh, buddy.
which, by the way, they just dropped some really big news.
Oh my gosh, did they ever?
Now, the Salt Lake Comic-Con, for those of you that don't know, one of the fastest growing Comic-Cons in the country.
Yes.
But I'm starting to wonder if almost all of them can claim that at a certain point now.
'Cause they're all hopped up on Quaaludes. I mean, at Benzies at this point.
Well, I think there's a reason why shows like Comic Book Men and Geeking Out are performing the way they are on AMC.
Yep.
We have this. And I mainly attribute this, I think, to the Marvel films. Really, we are living in an era where this is our time. I guess that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
There's become
yeah.
a larger public awareness and acceptance of, let's just, for lack of a better term, call it nerd culture.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And a resurgence. Well, not even a resurgence, but finally, I feel like it's for the masses. I'm not talking about high schoolers and stuff like that, but for the masses, it's cool to like what you like.
Yeah.
And the internet has made the world so small that you can find other people who like what you like.
Yeah, and in some cases, I think that's very beneficial. I'm sure in others, it's really not.
Right. Yeah.
I get that, well, anyway, it just, let's just say there's dark parts of the internet as well. But in this case, for particular tastes and everything else, it blends really well. But I think in Connecticut just had Terrificon,
Yes.
which, by the way, awesome name for a Comic-Con, right?
Well, I would say it's tremendous.
I would say it's, oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah. See, I was going to, and then I didn't.
Yeah. I thought you were, I'd say it's
Yeah.
true. And no.
It just came.
All right, fine. Clearly, one of us is smarter on a Monday than the other person. I still want to get back to trying to rap about your intern. No, I'm kidding. So the Salt Lake Comic-Con, for those that don't know, is in Salt Lake. I know it's a
Yes.
stretch,
Yeah.
but the other interesting thing about it is it's a 3-day con, which I don't know many others that venture into this kind of territory.
Right.
because,
Yeah.
but the reason why is also it's in Utah. Sunday is God's day, folks.
Yeah,
So the
like,
con
yep.
is not happening on a Sunday.
Which I don't know. To me, it's kind of weird because I would think that you would get a group of people that you wouldn't normally catch into, because you've either got to take work off Friday or Thursday, or the masses on Saturday that is just a literal sea of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's massive. But yeah, that's Utah culture, man. It doesn't happen on Sunday.
Yeah, so in that case, where most cons you'd have a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, with this one they have a Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
So still 3 days, but now you're cutting into the work week not 1 day but 2. And I mean, notoriously speaking, just for any con, it's the same thing for like Friday versus Saturday and Sunday. The first day of the con is your slowest, let's say.
Yeah.
And for Salt Lake Comic Con, I would imagine it's even, and I don't want to use the term worse so much, but for now, let's just say worse.
Yeah.
It's even worse that it's cutting into Thursday. So now you're either asking people to take the weekend off or 2 days. They're having to take a 4-day weekend. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
You know, are they going to take Thursday and Friday off, or are they just going to take Friday off? You work the math. I'm sure you see the way the odds go. The Salt Lake Comic Con, though, got something really freaking cool for their slowest day, Thursday.
Yep. Thursday.
And what is that, Trent?
Well, I don't know what deal they signed with Lucifer herself, but the only Comic-Con appearance in 2016.
The only Comic-Con appearance in 2016.
For the one and only, I mean, some people might know him as the Joker, and others might know him as Luke Skywalker.
I know him as that kid from Corvette Summer.
Wait, what is Corvette Summer?
Oh, you don't know about this?
No.
It's if memory serves, and I could be a little off, for a class project, they rebuild a Corvette. The Corvette gets stolen, and Mark Hamill's determined to get it back.
Mm-hmm.
And in his adventures in trying to get the car back, he hooks up with a prostitute, and that's all I remember.
So it's got a little risky business thing
Little bit, and it was called Corvette Summer, and that was, I think, one of the last movies that he did with his original face.
Damn, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Because for those that don't know, Mark Hamill got into a bad, I think, car accident.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, and that's the reason why he's attacked by the Bantha in the beginning of Empire Strikes Back. And if I literally just got that creature's name correct, I am telling you right now that was strictly muscle memory from when I was 12 or 13 years old.
Is it a Wampa?
No. Is it the Wampa?
I think it might be a Wampa.
Okay, that makes me feel better then, somewhat.
Because I think the Bantha is in the pit in Return of the Jedi.
No, that's the Sarlacc pit.
That's the in the dungeon pit.
Oh, okay.
I think
no,
I don't know.
Think so.
Oh,
now we're getting into an exceptionally bad area because we've actually got to we got to see which one of us is going to flinch first and say Rancor, which is me. Sorry.
Oh shit. Yeah. Yep. No, you're right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was that.
Wow. I think Bantha is a Bantha what the Sand People ride.
It could be.
I think that's a Bantha.
Okay.
If Brian Young were listening right now, he would no longer let me be associated with Big Shiny Big Shiny Robot. Oh, that's sad.
No, what's sadder is the last minute of the podcast.
The Bantha is the thing that the Sand People the Sand People ride. Yes.
Single file so they can hide their numbers.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, folks, if you didn't plan on going to see the Salt Lake Comic Con, or you found yourself on a Thursday looking for something to do in the Salt Lake area.
Yeah.
20,000 available seats, I think.
Dude, this is what's knuck and futz, right? So like where the Jazz play used to be the Delta Center, then it was something else, now it's something else again. It'll always be the Delta Center to me. So where the Jazz play, there's nothing going on that day. And it's literally just across the block. Like it's 1 block away from the Salt Palaces, which is where they're playing or where they're having Comic-Con. And normally to get into the ballroom, there's a limited amount of seats, right? So like when the Comic-Con or when Comic Book Man are going on Friday at 7:00, there's only going to be a number of seats, and people will have to line up to secure their seats for the if they're waiting for the next one to end or whatever. Just like Hall H or anything else.
What about noon Saturday?
You mean 5? It's on Saturday?
What?
Yeah, 5 on Saturday.
Oh, we're 5 on Saturday now?
Yeah, 5 on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
But same thing, limited seating, right?
Right.
Even less seating than there would be, right?
Okay, fair enough.
Anyone who has a ticket for Thursday gets to go into the Delta Center, literal stadium seating, arena seating, and like have like a one-on-one an experience with Mark Hamill, dude. I cannot believe it. It's so cool.
I think the coolest thing about that actually is the fact that Mark Hamill himself is such an amazing not only storyteller but person of extreme geek cred. And I don't just mean because he's Luke Skywalker.
It doesn't hurt.
This guy knows more about comic books than you've probably.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's forgotten more about comic books than you even know, Trent.
That I could ever hope to know. Yeah, and it's so interesting because in the last 20 years of his career, he's been so focused on voice acting, and he truly takes acting into the voice acting. You know what I mean? If you ever see videos of him when he's doing skips in regular show, or if he's doing the Joker, any of the stuff he does on a regular basis, he's full into the action and moving, and he's fucking acting, man. He becomes that character. So that doesn't surprise me at all about the comic books. I mean, I can't think of a better expert on the Joker than him.
I love it. I mean, I think the thing that blew me away the most was when I found out that Joker voice that I loved was Mark Hamill. I'm like, wait a second, what?
Yeah, I know, right? Like when you realize that, it's like, oh, no effing way. And then you're like looking it up and trying to figure out, did he do it all? What ones hasn't he done? What? I don't understand.
I recently saw him give a reading as his Joker. I think it was from part of The Killing Joke.
Fuck me, dude. I would love that.
And it was on the internet, so I think you can find it too.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
But you're right. During that, you see there's a literal physical transformation that occurs.
You see it come over him.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
As a matter of fact, if I recall correctly, it's almost as though his hands are in some way channeling and drawing in the character. It seems like he's always gripping it and pulling it towards. That's just me. But there is a definite physical thing. Definitely something I'm completely unfamiliar with.
Yeah. Oh my. Can you? Oh man. Anyway.
But yeah. How did they pull that? Or you know what? It's just probably the guy is shooting so much stuff now. This is like the only weekend he didn't have
worked out. Yeah. Seriously. Like, I don't know how, but good God, they did it, man.
Yeah, a lot of interest. The comic book men, like you said, they're going to be there as well.
Yeah. Comic book men are going to be there. A bunch of people from the Vampire Diaries are going to be there.
And I hear telltale of a live appearance of NetHeads.
Yeah,
like a live episode, if you will.
Saturday, 5 p.m., folks. Room 250A.
A, not B. A.
A.
That's not just like a hotel room. That's going to be so sad if they're like, okay, and then you're like at the little executive desk, and they've got one chair.
They've got us in like the Holiday Inn Express's office place.
Excuse me, sir. That's referred to as the executive suite.
Yeah. No, you can't connect to the internet unless you have a room, sir. I'm sorry.
You have to slide your key. Slide your key. No, you can't podcast without that key. Oh boy. So that may be happening.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Not Mark Hamill cool, but cool.
No. Yeah. I mean,
it'll never
be Mark Hamill cool, but also you've got the Shatner's going to be there.
The Shat?
The Shat's going to be there, dude.
That's pretty insane. And that is just, we're only 2 weekends away from that.
I've heard tell that Marv Wolfman's going to be there.
The Wolfman himself?
Yeah, we're dude. The guy that created the Teen Titans, as you know and love them. I'm trying to think. Let's look at guests right here. Oh, if Ming's somewhere, you can always throw a stone and hit Michael Rooker too.
Yeah, he's taken a lot of pictures with the Rook, hasn't he?
So he's gonna be there. Who else I gotta see here? Manu Bennett. Oh my hell! How did I forget this one? John Cena.
Dude, seriously.
Yeah, John Cena's gonna be there.
I think the way I like, once again, sorry, we're doing a big commercial for the Salt Lake Comic-Con, but I love the way that they introduced the fact that they were bringing him in on a Facebook post, because they ran that video that was he did for a group for the 4th of July.
Yes, dude.
Where it talked about the importance of diversity, and they even said they understand fandom comes in many shapes and sizes, and wrestling is one of them, which you know.
Yep. Absolutely, man.
Which, by the way,
Yeah.
I have to apologize, sir, because the other day on Twitter on Sunday, before we had a chance to communicate,
Yeah.
I jokingly speculated around 1:00 that that you I hadn't heard from you, and I realized it was SummerSlam. So did anyone want to start a pool about us doing a show? And I apologize. You actually had a family event.
That's funny. Yeah. No, but that's not to say I haven't almost watched all of SummerSlam already.
Oh, well, that's good.
You know what I mean? I've still got the last 2 matches to watch, so I'll go in from there. I don't see if Cena is doing an actual like panel or anything.
Or if he's just doing a photo op. Well, you never know.
Yeah, he's doing photo ops on Thursday and Friday.
You know, that's one of the cool things too, though, about going to a con is where you do
$100.
Whoa, hello.
And for a photo op, you need to sign up in the lottery.
In the lottery?
Yeah. So there's a photo op lottery, and then if you get selected, you can pay your money and have the photo op.
Oh, how much you want to bet though? You got to pay for the lottery in advance,
And then well, that would be the smart way to do it. And then you get reimbursed if you didn't get it.
Well, I was just thinking that's the way I would run it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because you know why? The last thing you want to do is like, okay, B28. What do you mean you can't pay?
Yeah, right. No, seriously, it's like bullshit. Not happening then. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Guess what? Go with God. Get out of my face. By the way,
I am stoked. Robert England's gonna be there.
the Freddy Krueger himself.
Freddy Krueger himself. Yeah, man.
How old is he? Because
Oh gosh, he wasn't young when he was Freddy Krueger.
well, that's what I was thinking. By the way, I got to tell you, Trent, being one of the people that does like to go to cons and stuff, I don't know if you have an Amazon Prime membership.
I do.
Well, as you know, Amazon has a certain model that they have for the way they take things to network, per se. They'll commission a pilot. They put up the pilots for the viewing public to see, and then I guess people vote in the show that wins. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they can vote them all in, or if it's a plus and a minus here.
Yeah.
But one of those that just went up, that I watched this past weekend while I was sitting around praying that my left arm would just fall off. Still got the pain. That's what that's about. One of the things I did was I watched The Tick, which is the new pilot.
Oh, the new pilot
with Peter Serafinowicz in the titular role.
Yeah.
And I got to say that's up, and you can watch it. And the reason why that suddenly popped into my mind is because we were talking about Freddy Krueger, and then a few weeks ago, I couldn't remember the name of Jackie Earle Haley. And so Jackie Earle Haley, it turns out, I wasn't aware of this, he's part of that episode of that pilot of The Tick.
Oh, okay.
He plays the Terror, I believe. But, you know, I've just been blown. Recently, he's been making some very interesting acting choices. Jackie Earle Haley, for those that don't know, been in the business for a long time. He was like in the Bad News Bears and several other movies from my youth. Then he went away for a little while, and then part of his resurgence involved Zack Snyder's Watchmen, playing Rorschach.
Yeah.
So he's taken a lot of interesting roles, and recently on AMC's Preacher, he was part of that, playing a very interesting character.
Do you know what character he played? I can look it up.
Yeah, it's not one that was, I think, part of canon that you would consider from the comic.
Oh, sure. Okay.
And it was also a unique name, so it's not popping into my head. But the character choice there was interesting. And then in The Tick, I believe he's playing the Terror. And once again, just interesting choices. I'm starting to think there isn't anything Jackie Earle Haley can do lately that I don't like. I guess unless he slept with my wife.
Well, I'm just saying, and someone might enjoy it. He has an interesting look too. Do you know what I mean? To where, and it's credit to him that he can take on these different roles because he has such an interesting look that it would be very easy for him to only get character roles. Do you know what I mean?
It's funny you mentioned that because in AMC, one of the things that they kind of employed on that the character often had was actually like I don't want to say Coke bottle thick glasses, but they did employ awkward looking glasses.
Oh, really?
Because, it's a subtle change to be able
Yeah.
to, because he really does. He has a very unique face.
He does, absolutely.
Kind of like Tom Petty has a very unique face.
Like he would if you were going just off appearance, he would be the perfect Vulture in Spider-Man.
Yeah, very good. Definitely. But as the Terror, that involved a lot of makeup, and it was. At first I saw the eyes, and I'm like, wait a second, is that? And then I heard the voice, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's him.
Yep, that's him.
By the way, those are officially only the two actors that I can name from the show.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't know who.
And they're two of the harder ones to remember. So I think you win that round.
Yeah, I don't know who's playing Arthur, but we did get to see Arthur's costume in this.
Oh, nice.
The one thing I will say about this version of the Tick, and I felt this too, even when I saw the pictures of the costume, I don't know if it's because I'm so used to the cartoon image and the earlier attempt at a live action show of the Tick, which featured Patrick Warburton, had a very polished look to the costume.
It did, yeah.
And this one instead actually has a very, I guess the best way to put it would be kind of like insect texture to it.
Oh.
There's bumps and ridges and lines.
Hairs and stuff.
Well, not really, not the little pokey, creepy hairs, but but he did have antennas that did articulate, so that was
good.
nice.
That's important.
Not as much as Patrick Warburton's did. I swear they had an individual puppeteer for each antenna on that show.
I know. They were all over the place.
You know what I really love, by the way, is that I think we've been talking now for almost 40 minutes about nothing whatsoever.
Yeah, stuff we like. Welcome to NetHeads. We're going to talk about stuff we like.
Well, we can talk about, I can squeeze. By the way, if you do follow along with hashtag NetHeads, you can go back to that fracking cat who you mentioned earlier, who shared that actual dramatic reading of Mark Hamill, which I can share the audio with you right now if you wanted, Trent.
I don't want to ruin someone else's IP,
Good point.
Yeah. But I tell you
I
what,
don't get it, but good point.
I'll tweet it out.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, so the Tick, I'm interested to see where it goes. I think it needs some improvement. Odin Quincannon was the name of his character on Preacher.
Yeah, that must be from a different telling.
Well,
different characters as from the comic.
Well, if you look at the comic, which I never have, but from what I understand, basically the first season of Preacher is more like a prequel to the comics.
Okay.
Because by the end of the series, just like in the comic, I know that his church was laid waste. So I will say that by the end of the first season, that definitely has happened. Remember earlier I mentioned Jackie Earle Haley's character was the one that was in charge of the Meat and Power Company. Which I didn't pick up on until the very last episode. The reason why they're able to the Meat and Power Company is because I believe all of the power, much like in Thunderdome, comes from methane.
I was going to say, is methane produced?
Yes. So you got a bunch of cow shit. Let's make some power.
Gosh, dude.
Not to mention meat slurry and whatever else they threw in there. But anyway, the Tick, I'm interested to see more. There's another one on there too, Trent, that I think you might like. And that would be Jean-Claude Van Johnson.
Wait, what?
I'm going to tell you right now, this is a very meta show.
Oh,
bear with me.
No, I'm here, dude. I'm all the way here.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, as we know him, action star.
Yeah.
From the late 80s into the 90s.
American kickboxer, man.
Exactly.
Universal Soldier.
Yes.
Hard Target.
Time Cop.
Dude, I was a fan back in the day, dude. I was a fan.
Look, I'll be honest. I even saw JCVD. I'm a fan. So, but here's the premise of the show. Jean-Claude Van Damme is making his comeback. However, there is not really any Jean-Claude Van Damme. There is Jean-Claude Van Johnson, international spy, and espionage specialist, who has created and uses the movie star persona of Jean-Claude Van Damme to conduct his clandestine operations.
As the real life Jean-Claude Van Johnson.
Exactly. No, as
Holy-
Jean-Claude Van. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Espionage is Johnson. Fake movie star is Von Damme. Well, but I mean, he's a movie star.
That is fucking brilliant, dude. Oh my hell,
And-
that's such a good idea.
And they play it completely. I guess the best way to describe it is they play it completely meta.
Yeah, it's totally straight, right? Like,
Exactly.
oh gosh, dude.
And so much so that like one of the jokes is like where he's like, oh, I don't know if I can get back into this business. You know, I'm so out of shape. And of course, he's Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah,
He's just
so freaking beautiful.
Yeah, he's just cut from Jesus's wood or whatever the term is. Cut from God's own wood. Okay, wait a minute. Let me rephrase that too.
Yeah, that's okay.
Never mind. There's
Whatever.
there's no good
New
way
term.
to do it.
I like it though. It's fun.
By the way, Ryan, sorry, I didn't mean to miss your calls. I didn't even realize the Skype was going off. So if you want to talk about technology, though, Trent, one of the things that I've got, of course, that we've talked about is that I'm on the Project Fee, right? I'm on the 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm high
I'm
on the
high
5.
On the 5. Bow, 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 bow.
Which, by the way, I got to tell you,
On the 5.
working from home now, so now that I'm home a lot, another way that I love, for those that don't know, Project Fi is the hybrid Google phone service, mobile
Yep.
service. And the cool thing about it is that as long as you're on Wi-Fi, it'll utilize the VoIP features for phone calls and everything else.
Yeah.
And you only pay for you pay a $20 network fee, and then you just pay for the gigs that you use. So for the past 2 months, Trent,
Okay.
my phone bill has totaled, combined,
Yeah.
$51.
Fuck me. And that's everyone, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, if I were out and about in the wild using up data and stuff, it would be a different story. You know,
But
I've
yeah,
had-
you work from home.
yeah, and the times that, like, I think they pre-bill me at 5 gigs, but then I basically get a refund or a credit
for
for the
whatever you
unused.
don't use.
So
Good
that's how.
Lord.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not what I'm talking about, though. The cool thing too about it, this is one of the things that, and I got to tell you, Trent, when you're comparing Apple to Android, this is one of the ways that the Android market is suffering, if you want to call it that. Folks, I got to tell you, I've seen the mobile operating system numbers, so I'm just going to say that, you know, you may think Apple's really dominant, but anyway, the cool thing about it that I get to experience is my phone is a Google phone, right?
Yeah.
This is not, it's not a AT&T phone. It's not the Samsung Galaxy sold by T-Mobile, and it's key to that. This is just a Google phone. So I've already got the latest version of the of the Android operating system, codenamed or named Nougat.
Okay. Okay.
I've already got it on my phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, other people that may have an Android, when you don't have one that's one of the Nexus ones, because I think Nexus holders get to enjoy this benefit too. You have to wait until the carrier gets the operating system and does whatever they're going to do to tweak it for use on their devices, and then eventually it may get distributed to your phone. But they just released this today, and I've got it today. And I got to tell you, man,
Dude.
This phone, it rips now. And then
Oh.
the UI has really been cleaned up a lot.
Really?
Oh yeah. So like the pull down status alerts, they're a little more, you know, one thing I've noticed, and I don't know why this is happening in the operating system world and in the mobile world, but there's been a real whitewashing that's been going on for years now. Started with Apple and iTunes, then it worked its way over into the Microsoft Office products, then it worked its way into Windows, and now this is the same way. All the statuses come across, they're just very pale. There's a dividing line. But it's not trying to be personalized and hokey. Now they're just all within a nice dedicated piece of property, just like one strip of information for every update you have or status alert. And they have made it easier just to tap on and respond to like messages straight from just that one alert item.
Wherever you're at, yeah.
And see, they've once again evolved the battery equation. So I'll especially let you know on that one. One thing I have found,
That's awesome, dude.
you do have to be careful about some of the apps that you do run. We have I just sound like such white privilege asshole, but we've got the Harmony remote hub in the family room.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And what this thing does is they give you a very basic remote that they provide you with. But the idea is that you're going to use the app and your phone on your Wi-Fi or your tablet or whatever, and you'll use your portable device instead as your remote control. And, it's one of those ones where it's a smart one. So you can set up viewing the TV, viewing the Blu-ray, and instead of having to press input here and do this and do that, the remote does it all for you.
Yeah.
But if that app is running and I'm phone and I've been home, I think that there's a certain bit of communication that's continuously going on because my battery was draining so goddamn fast. And I think I finally put in the connection that it was the Harmony remote app. Doing
okay. Yeah.
Because you do have to, I hate to say, they've already told us that there's no point in closing all of your apps. That's not going to save your battery or anything else.
Yeah, because that's not draining the power.
No, but in the case of other things like Bluetooth connections and that kind of crap.
Oh, yeah. Searching for Wi-Fi when you're not connected to Wi-Fi.
Well, and I got to say that that in this case as well, I think that app is probably continuously doing a heartbeat to the remote.
Yeah.
Or to the hub. Because
true. Yeah.
Case in point, I've been on battery power all day, and actually it's been really good. I've had that app running for an hour and a half, and now I'm at 50%. God damn.
Oh, nice.
It's not bad, but still, man, come on. I want my phone to be fully powered at all times. Is that too much to ask?
But I mean, you are at home, so
fair enough.
By the the savings you'll make up in your phone bill.
Actually, where I'm not making up the savings is the fact that the kitchen is just a hop, skip, and a jump around the corner.
Oh gosh, dude. I tell you what, I don't have the stress of running in the comic book shop anymore. I am gaining the weight sitting down all the time now.
Oh God, I know. Doesn't that just suck?
I now get up an hour early to walk to work. You
know what? I should do that. Oh,
yeah, you do walk to work, Will. You walk downstairs.
Yes, that's what I do. Sometimes
you walk past the kitchen.
Sometimes I gotta go to the water closet, but other than that,
oh my gosh.
I actually no, I don't walk by. I do walk by. I walk through the hallway that can lead to the kitchen, but I just kind of walk into here. This is really becoming scarily man cave-ish in here.
I see no problem with that.
I really think I need to start out and getting more sunlight. Maybe going for a walk here or there.
Once in a while, get some either that or start drinking more whole milk.
Right? And walk the dogs. By the way, I don't know for those that I got to stop saying for those that I always find it funny that certain people embrace certain technologies early. One of the things that's kind of been surprising for me throughout his career has been Kevin Smith doing that. But he's always been, I think, whether consciously or subconsciously, he's been very tuned to his marketability.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And early on, he learned that the internet was a very valuable way in order to communicate to the people that enjoy what he does and to further stimulate an income and interest and everything else through interaction. First, he had a very basic web board. Then he started using Facebook more, found Twitter, and boy, oh boy, did he fall in love with that.
That was his jam.
And then there were some live YouTube events. There's the YouTube channels. And there was a very interesting event that partially we both alluded to just now. And I found this interesting. He's been very fond of Facebook Live lately, it seems.
Yeah.
And there was a day where he took people that could have caught him live, and you can see it after the fact as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He took us on a walk with he and the dogs.
Uh-huh.
And not only did he do that, not only did he get narration, not only was there action and drama, but he also took the time to answer some questions from people.
Right.
Obviously, we're not Kevin Smith. So getting on to Facebook Live is in no way, shape, or form going to benefit me in any way.
Right.
But I think it's kind of admirable in a way that he does kind of gravitate to these new things. Because he could just live in an insular little bubble and just interact through specific venues and everything else. But and maybe that's probably kind of the point. I think in the part of what makes him interesting is that humanizing element, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
But one of the things that he has said, and I think I saw, not that I'm saying Joe Rogan is the world's end all be all for news and information, but apparently there was a recent study that was published that basically said low fat does not equal a healthier lifestyle.
Right.
They basically just dropped the science of the stuff that people have been telling us for a while. Or they told us for a while, then we changed our minds and we said low fat was better.
Right.
But then we didn't realize the implication of increasing the sugar to make shit actually taste nice.
Right.
So what they're saying now is that low fat is bullshit. Just eat. Go ahead and eat your fats, but cut out snacking and avoid carbs. That's basically what they said.
Yeah.
Sure,
And then the old school equation of burn more than you take in.
Exactly. And so he printed that article, and it was interesting because I heard recently, I don't remember where it was, one of the things that Kevin does is he loves whole milk, loves drinking whole milk. And well, yeah, and one of the things he also said is that recently, because that's what, he doesn't just survive, Trent, he thrives on whole milk. Only true television nerds will know that I actually just quoted an episode of Quantum Leap.
Wait, really?
Yeah, the bizarre episode where Sam ends up actually leaping back into his own life as a younger child.
Yes, I do remember that one. And he has to play in the basketball game.
Oh, well, actually, that was the episode before this one.
Oh, okay.
Because that one he leaps into his brother then. But anyway, or maybe that was it. Maybe it was that he left into his brother.
He leaps into his brother when as the Vietnam vet, where he has to save. Yeah, he has to save his partner. Shit, what's his name?
Sam. Oh no. Hold on. How can we not? Squiggy was the name of the guy in the control room.
Ziggy's the computer.
Sam and Al.
Al. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Colonel Al.
Anyway, in that episode, he oh God, what's the guy's name that played Sam? We should know him. Come on, he's on one of the NCISs now. Or CIS.
Dracula.
CIS.
No, Bakula.
Yeah, Dracula. Scott Dracula. Scott Bakula. He was dressed up in old age makeup as his dad.
Yeah.
And he said, "Son, you don't just you don't just survive on whole milk, you thrive on whole milk."
Yeah, that's right, because he's like talking shit on whole milk and how it's not and it hasn't been blah 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 and everything. Yeah.
Trent, let me remind you a little something, okay? I clearly I just pointed out the fact that I remember an episode of Quantum Leap from we're talking well over 20 years ago now.
Which is that's awesome.
Ask me when my brother Donald's birthday is. Sometime in May. That's the answer, my friend. That's the best I can do for you.
Dude, Quantum Leap though. I'm through like season 4 right now on the rewatch. God, it's just, I don't know, when I turn that show on, it just feels right, you know. It's like soul food, you know, with an old quilt. It just feels so good.
Quantum Leap was an interesting combination where it kind of felt like Back to the Future met Star Trek, I think is
totally. Yeah,
absolutely. And they kept it to actually a very basic concept, which was you got two guys and they're going on adventures, and sometimes they got to get a little techie because one of them's a hologram and people go through them.
Yep.
By the way, they were like, I could just imagine those. Okay, where are we going to spend the money this episode on the owl shot? Which one is the owl shot? Who's walking through Al? What's going through?
Exactly.
Al?
What car is he going to try and stop, even though they can't see him?
Where are we going to do this? We got one shot at this, guys. Every time we got to spend the money on this goddamn thing.
Yep.
What's going through Al?
I'll tell you where they didn't waste a lot of money, which is their version of the 90s the year what year was it? 1998, I think, is what they were projecting on the year that it would happen.
Oh no, I think it was sometime in the 2000s. It's probably come and gone, but I believe it was in the 2000s.
But the clothing that they anticipate they're wearing, oh my gosh! There's one episode where a guy escapes the holding room as he switched places and like goes into town or whatever. And he meets like a prostitute, because obviously prostitution is legal at this point in California.
Why not?
Oh, okay. Anyway, I'm glad you brought it up because I fucking love Quantum Leap, dude.
It's one of those good shows, but actually, it's also that's one of the that show was the reason why Star Trek Enterprise apparently had a little extra security around when Scott Bakula got signed on, because apparently
Really?
Homeboy got a rabid fan base from that. A lot
No
of
shit.
oh yeah, a lot of suburban moms and
Well,
just-
I guess the reply should be, oh boy.
oh boy, exactly. Trent, I can say this. I can honestly say this, and this is all I will say on this.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful that we cannot get my wife in any way, shape, or form to get down on a microphone. There was a point where USA was re-airing Quantum Leap.
Yeah.
Late 90s, and this was kind of leading up. So in other words, they had seasons 1 through almost current, and then current was going on at the time. And I kid you not, I had to be home every day at 7 o'clock to make sure that the recording happened on
the auto record actually recorded, the timed recording actually happened
on VHS. Also, I sat and I rode pause on them. So
nice. Good
pause,
for you.
so it would be commercial free.
Yeah, good for you.
And I kid you not, I collected the entire Quantum Leap library on VHS myself.
Holy shit, dude.
That said, the things my wife could tell you about my obsession with Quantum Leap, I'm so thankful she'll never get on the microphone.
We don't get to hear about it in person.
Look, Trent, I'm not going to say that I drove from Northern California to Southern California to join a group of people outside of NBC Studios to try and get the show not canceled.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I'm not going to say that I did that, Trent. Furthermore, I'm not going to say that I took audio from my favorite episodes and put them onto cassette to listen into the car to drive down. I didn't do that, Trent.
Fuck me. That's awesome, dude. That's the coolest thing I've ever heard.
I did not pull all of the musical bits that had happened on the show in the past, including the Elvis episode, and put them into it. I'm not saying I did these things, Trent.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah. I clearly, earlier when I said maybe you guys should seek psychological help, I really meant your decision to even be associated with me, which, by the way, after hearing this will be the nail in the coffin. I'm telling you right now. My wife is just like,
folks. It had just disappeared at this point. Will Wilkins was never heard from again.
This episode 223 of NetHeads was the beginning of what they call the eventual decline of Will Wilkins. Because from that point, the podcast just kept getting sadder and sadder as we talk about. By the way, my wife just texted, "Nerd Boy is getting excited. Shh, stop yelling."
Oh shit! See, you audibly. You're gonna have to go check your levels at this point.
Yeah. No, you want to know? I joke about all this because actually, right today, unfortunately, my eldest Emily had a cold and had to stay home from school because only because she's not a wimp, and it wasn't like, oh, I've got a cold. No, she was like
you don't want to get the other kids sick.
Well, she was also up at 4:30, and her birthday party is this weekend. She's turning 13. I don't know how the hell that's happening, but so she was home, and she wanted to watch dramas. I mean, she's turning 13, so now it's like, okay, we can watch PG-13 and
right, yeah,
And so one of the movies. God, what the fuck is wrong with you? One of the movies that was picked to watch was one that we've had sitting around for a while, which is called I think it's called Crazy Stupid Love.
Yes,
with Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone.
Yeah.
And it's I joke about this because the moment the movie started, I just looked at my wife and said, "Don't get any ideas," because it literally starts out with Steve Carell and the redhead from Boogie Nights. It's the microphone. It makes us go stupid. But anyway, so she is his wife in the movie, and they're looking at the menus and like, so what would you like? And she says a divorce. That's the start of the movie. And it's really kind of a middle-aged version of the British movie Love Actually.
Okay, yeah.
I think. It's one of those ones where you've got different stories going on and characters are going on certain paths, and eventually everything kind of collates into one point where all of our stories converge. Actually, a really enjoyable movie. I gotta admit it.
Yeah, everyone I've talked to has seen it has really enjoyed it.
But one of those ones where it just I don't feel like it ever got any recognition when it did happen.
Yeah,
but
that's the fate of all rom-com, man.
I guess so. Because there's only so much in life you can actually handle seeing Sweet Home Alabama.
So true.
I joke about that, but like literally, my wife watched it the other day. So.
Yeah,
which is the only reason why I remembered Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah, I can count. I can count on multiple appendages how many times I've seen Sweet Home Alabama with a girl.
Oh wow, really? That's one of those ones, huh?
It's a go-to, man. Absolutely.
It's like, oh well, I guess okay, Trent. Do you want? No, let's not talk about this.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, what are the movies you play to close the deal? But I don't want to hear that story. And actually, that's one of those things you can tell, like when one story is doing a turning point, and it's when and I gotta say, this movie was really smartly written. Probably not the right way to say it, but it only because the dialogue in one scene, one of the characters, Emma Stone's, literally tells us what is going to happen, right? Because she jokingly says, "Oh, I know what this is. In the PG-13 version of this is what happens." And it's a PG-13 movie, and it literally is.
Yeah, right on the nose.
But it played really well. So I guess the takeaway here is,
whoa, easy now.
Don't sneeze on air. That's one takeaway.
Hit the sneeze button.
Apparently, check your volume level when you're getting nerdy about things. And also, Will thought that Crazy Stupid Love was a good movie. Actually, I got to tell you, too, it was an interesting challenge that they created a character for Ryan Gosling that we were meant to hate, but somehow we end up rooting for.
Can't do it, dude. It's the Gauze.
Yeah, he was.
Can't. It's impossible.
I got to admit, I want to go back and watch this movie again. I'm not going to lie, Trent. I'm not going to lie.
You found yourself falling for him.
No, no.
No, of course not.
No, I just think there's some good writing in there for me to catch again.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what happened on this episode, but I had a good time. Did you?
I would like to think that we knocked it out of the park. To use a bases balls term.
Well, the bases balls. You sound like me, Trent. By the way, I'm not saying I combined the terms baseline with line drive to come up with a baseline hit.
I think that's a thing, though, isn't it?
I thought so too. No, it's not. There is no such thing as there's a base hit, right? There's a line drive.
But not a baseline hit.
Okay, let me tell you, there is. Okay, if the baseline is jamming, and then hold on, and then James Brown says, "Hit me."
Boom.
That's a baseline hit.
Bop, bop. Yeah, that's when your horns hit. Boom. Yeah.
In sports, however, no such thing.
Not a thing.
But I got to tell you, you make me feel a little bit better, Trent, because you following the baseballs as much as I do.
If you would have said that, I knew exactly what you were talking about.
Yeah.
In whatever topic we were talking about, I would have seen the applicability, and it wouldn't have jolted me.
You look at that, the way he hit that ball is parallel.
Yeah.
To the baseline. Clearly, that is a baseline hit.
Yeah, and he hit it.
Exactly.
By the way, it was a drive down the baseline.
There, thank you very much. God, see, this is the reason why you've been around this long. Is because you're like, I just got to help this whole poor hapless.
No, dude, I think you're just fine on this one.
By the way, going in blind, Ryan Connolly again. Sorry, I did not see that the phones was ringing, but here's his message. Hopefully,
this should be interesting.
If it plays, sometimes.
We'll see.
NetHeads time used to mean like 10 o'clock on a Sunday, 11 o'clock on a Sunday, maybe even midnight. But man, NetHeads time has come to be known as whenever Will and Trent decide to get together, which is pure awesome on your guys' part. For somebody like me who works retail and doesn't have this set schedule, #clerk life, you know, it's a pre-release party here at the store for Madden 2016, and you guys go on air, and I miss it because I'm busy setting up. I can't even call in because you guys are done already. Well, have fun, guys. This is Ryan. Peace out.
That was well played because actually no, we weren't already done. Sorry, Ryan. I was so busy. Either if you watch the video, folks, I don't know why for some reason when we're talking. Maybe it's because I don't want to look at myself when I'm talking, but I will close my.
None of us do.
I look down or I close my eyes, and also what with the whatever pain that I've got going on right now, I don't have a lot of range of motion. So
good Lord,
I just wasn't looking at the wrong time, so I'm sorry. Anyway, but thank you for leaving a message, and you can too.
Thanks for leaving a message. And if you want to, leave us a message during the week, and so in the hopes that we'll play it later, we just give a call, leave a message.
Yes, please do. That's NetHeads on Air, and if you want to follow us on Twitter, Trent is a part of him. I am NetHead WW. The show is NetHeads on Air, and you've been listening to another edition of NetHeads brought to you by the fine folks purveying at one fabulous, wonderful website. Trent, where is that?
Only, folks, smodcast.com.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker.
Signing off. I know, right? But stop being a little Nancy and deal with it.
NetHeads.
NetHeads.
We'll be back soon.
Goodbye.
This has been a production of Smodco Internet Radio. Sir, only at smodcast.com.
Yeah, boy, it's so funny the way the different times we do this, the way it can just impact or alter the tone of the show, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't mention Trump once.
No, well, I don't think we need to. But but you got to admit, one of the things, I mean, aside from a slight tirade that happened in the last 24 hours, I think they've done a pretty good job reeling him in.
Yeah, his handle. Yeah, whoever he brought on now to put him in place is, I think, just doing a better job.
Well, I don't think you should say putting in place, but obviously it's somebody that knows how to talk to him and get a message across.
Yeah, that says you can't say it that way. Come up with a better way to say it.
I was thinking about it too, and this is one of those things that it'll be interesting to see the way history tells this, but a lot of things going on early on in this campaign after the conventions that I find interesting is that in many ways Trump was his own worst enemy, and you notice now he is being quiet, and there are other things popping up about like Clinton's emails and Clinton's foundation, which we're now able to hear because the thumping of the Trump drum isn't happening.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, folks, I think NetHeads should be the third party.
Absolutely, positively not.
Right in NetHeads for 2016.
I'm not saying I drove down to try and save a dying TV show, but that is not the type of person you try and put in charge of a country.